Hey folks, welcome back to Timberborn, and I am recording this video before you guys have seen the last one because recording that gave me a little bit of a spur of motivation to play the game because I kind of enjoyed it. So we're going to try and make a bit of progress, hopefully, if time allows, and life and all that kind of thing. So we'll see how things go, eh? Let's get those in. I don't think it's worth planting trees up here because this is going to evaporate. So we'll get some more trees in there. Goal for today. We're going to start getting metal scrapped, I guess. And then smelted. I want to build the food factory. We can probably just unlock that straight. We've got so much science, which is a really nice position to be in. We've actually got a decent amount of spare beavers, so I'm going to instantly throw in 2. We're going to put in a large industrial pile there to kind of act as a stockpile. I'm just wondering what I'm moderately tempted. I'm moderately tempted to open this up. I'm just kind of pondering the consequences. Because it would give us power. And we could set up an industrial area here. Industrial. Words are hard. Now, I think at some points this is somewhat clean. And if we could get to the bad water sources, would be cleaner. So I think this is worth doing. Let's actually get the game moving at some kind of pace, shall we? And let's do that. Unintended consequences and all that might happen, but you never know. Might be worthwhile. I wonder if we should first off remove that guy just so that there is capacity for water flow, and then we'll mark that one. Oh, they can get to it. Okay, we won't bother building that. Awesome. Sometimes I think the pathing in this game is not what is claimed, because that feels like it's way more than 10. We'll demolish that one and that one. And I'm trying to kind of work with intent in terms of what we demolish. So I think then we demolish that one. And what we'll do is we'll end up setting something up down here. We've still got 3 spare beavers. Let's get more. I was going to say let's get more planks being made, but that's going to be full as well. I think it might behoove us. It might be sensible. Use a word that I would normally use. To let's pause the breeding pod. And let's throw in a couple more science huts. We can demolish that one. Yep. We are scrap metaling. We probably don't need 18-hour work days. The other thing that was suggested, actually, and before I forget, was to throw in a rooftop terrace up here, which I thought was a really good idea. So let's do that, because we can just do that, and I really like that. A nice easy one to get access to. Yep, that is looking good. I kind of think that it might not be a stupid idea to demolish these. We could always put sluices in here once we've got access to them, because then as water evaporates, these will stay full, but as water evaporates, these will evaporate at the same rate. But, you know, anyway, but we could put water dumps in here and we could make this a little bit bigger. So it could be one of our irrigation points. Yeah. Anywho, back on task. So get that done. Do we want actually cancel? Just wondering if we want to focus it so it comes through this way. So let's give ourselves the option. So if we throw in a floodgate there, actually let's be sensible about where we put that, and we'll put 2 in. So we'll put them there. It's extra building, but it's then the other side of the bridge. Hoping it doesn't matter, but you know. So that the water's flowing that way. And I might just open these up a little bit at a time. The bad tide's going to be over by the time we've done this, but water's still going to be flowing through there. So, you know. And it kind of makes sense to maybe put our industry down here, I think. Yep. We want to make sure that these are deprioritized, but I think it's worth us stockpiling science while we can. So we should do that. So you will have noticed probably that the game kind of lags a bit when autosave happens. So I've installed a mod that only autosaves at the beginning of the day, and I've turned off the autosave that happens every 10 minutes to try and stop the massive autosave lag. I'm not sure why it lags so much when it autosaves, but that should help, because otherwise it runs relatively smoothly. So yeah, I was finding that a bit annoying. I'm sure you were. So yeah, I have removed it. Well, I've altered it. So yeah, there is another mod which you can configure how often autosave happens. But I preferred to go with that one where autosave just happens once a day. I think that's fine. I think that's plenty frequently enough. So yeah. I think that the river can stand more than that, so we'll demolish another one. And we want to start thinking about putting in some power wheels. And yeah, I think we're fine to demolish all of those, to be honest. It probably makes sense to throw them. I mean, we could worry about being super optimal, or we could just throw them in a place where we can build plenty of them. Or we could unlock the large one and develop more power. We can only put in single ones, but we could narrow it down. So I actually that might be the play. And so I think the play might be that we come here, we come down here as the bad tide ends and the autosave happens. So we need to come up here, be watching our water flow so that we can reopen things. We're going to need to turn these back on now. We're probably going to have some resource fun. That doesn't look too bad. It kind of... And there's a little bit of a pocket of contamination there, but these are fine. So I think we could go ahead and open these guys up. And I think we could then just straight open those as well. And we are fine. First bad tide survived. Day one, water flowing back through. Awesome. Excellent. We are in a good spot, I think, folks. So, yeah, that did flood that a little bit deeper, actually, through there, which is kind of interesting. So, yeah, this is then a brackish water source. But if we could block this up, it would become clean during temperate seasons. I'm assuming that's too far. Okay, so we need to enable access to that. What's the best way to get them to that? Does it matter? Yeah, we probably want to get that one built. I think we're going to do the equivalent of single bridges, but with those. And then what we'll do is we could do, that's 12 logs or 6 planks. Now planks require processing. We're not short of logs at the moment, so I think we'll put them on levies. Save. There we go. Not there. Good boy. Just going to pause actually so I can work out where we want to put them. But yeah, we're going to unlock the large power wheel. There. Awesome. And then it's 5, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there, I believe. Because I'm pretty sure that a few of these will generate a lot more power than a few of the small power wheels. And we could, in fact, we probably should. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or we could put double in there, couldn't we? No, we couldn't because we've had to restrict it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'm going to do is... I wonder how contaminated that is. Wondering if we could demolish that. Might not matter, actually. What I want to do is come in here and fill that in. Yeah, it does matter actually, because I want to get rid of that, because I want to fill that in as well. And then we can put one there. We probably want that to be open actually, so there's enough to get water out. Yeah. We'll let them work on building that. we are actually actually 6. I'm going to bung that on because 8 is just pulling from mostly that and a couple of builders, which I'm not too worried about. Yep. We will need gears. We don't need them for those, but we are going to need them for the smelters. And I think we would be sensible to, or they need metal, but we would be sensible to start looking at probably some of these guys. They only lose 4 horsepower per hour or whatever. They can store 15,000 HP each. And they're quite economical to build. So I think they would be a jolly good investment for us. And what we could think about doing as well, there's even more fresh water over there, is putting some floodgates over here to restrict the flow this way to push more water through here if this river's got the capacity for it. So save, there we go. So we're stockpiling scrap metal at a reasonable rate, which is cool. This is not the biggest scrap metal supply, but there are a few around. The mines are a little bit further away, I think, and a little bit more challenging for us to get to, but so we've got our first one running, and that's generating 287 HP. That's generating quite, but I think this is a much slower water flow. So, but we can improve that, and there is capacity for it to be improved. So, yeah. So I think what we want to be looking to do is probably have a beaver come over here. They have a habit of pressing the wrong keys quite often, as you may have noticed. We're going to come cut down those trees. We've used up a lot of logs. So I think what we'll do is we'll also throw in a lumberjack there. Have you come cut down those trees, and because we're waiting for these to grow, we will pause. Yeah, those have got a decent amount of growing to do, so we'll pause a bunch of you except for one, just in case some of them do grow in. Yeah, and we'll get those cut down. And what I want to do then is put in some things. It's a technical term, isn't it? So, longer term, we will replace what I'm about to put in with some of those flywheels. We've got the new power shafts now with update 7, so what we could actually do is get rid of that and get rid of that. We could unlock the solid power shaft. We could put one of those there, and we could put one of those straight on top, and that'll get that connected up. And then the same there and there, and then we can just run power shafts in between them. Right, you can go, you can go. Going to need some pathage. And we should unlock and smelter. Come on, autosave, there we go. And we will start the process of building our industrial district. And then at the same time, we'll let them build this stuff. We might need a drought to get rid of this guy. But the rest of it, I think if we, because we do have the 3x bridge, that will allow us to build all of, that's too long, okay. Why can't I put, because we've got to build all of that. We'll let them build all of that, actually. Let them build what they can. That's probably sensible. You can go. We're currently 5 beavers short. Not any incapacitated, which is good. Water supply is looking good. Food supply is looking good. We're getting corn. We probably need some storage for corn. Given that we're going to have to process the corn, we will build our corn storage down here. Because we're going to have to put a food factory in. So. Buddy is cutting trees, which is great. I did mark that yet. Just check that we don't suddenly have, no, we just have a few oak trees up, but that would mean it would be sensible to keep our forester working. So that he's replanting them, but I think we'll just leave the one lumberjack over here. Help manage our shortage of labor. Because we are using quite a lot of logs. Yep. I wonder if it's worth us. I'm kind of thinking of building on the we could even go there as well with not too much work, but kind of thinking that for the cost of a staircase, we could gain quite a lot of well-being, well, quite a lot of well-being benefit. We could gain a couple more rooftop terraces. So we check well-being. We're actually fulfilling all of their needs anyway, but you know. We might as well plan ahead. So logs are the issue. We're going to prioritize the power bit because I'm kind of curious just how much power we're generating. It's going to be nearly 600 HP out of this little setup, so we're going to get another one in there. Then we're going to work on shoving more water through it. So my thought is it's going to take 3 whatever really, so we'll just bung 3 across there. Just use the old warehouse trip to enable us to build them. Another bad tide coming in. We just need to be alert to remember to 1, not drop the mouse, and 2, go and close our bad tide defenses. So, and if I wanted to purely cut more wood, we could just make our way up here and cut more wood. Let's plan for that. Go. That's been pretty much stripped out, so you can be paused. But yeah, how much power are we generating? 560, that's pretty nice. We need planks and gears and scrap metal, so pretty much we've got the resources we need. Let's just slow the game down a moment. Look, so we need to get those built. So we could do that off a 2x bridge. I'm sure we're going to need the 2x bridge. Alternatively, we could just put a 3x bridge over there. Or, alternatively, again, we could do that. Yeah. That would also work. So that will do a thing. So corn, we've filled up all of our available corn storage. So I'm going to prioritize building that. Water supplies are pretty full. We do probably want to look at expanding those again sooner rather than later. So, yep, definitely something we want to think about. What we'll do is we come up here. Are you a different level again? You are a different level again. We've got 1 day to go. Someone remind me to go close the bad tide defenses, please. But once that's built, hopefully our lumberjack can get up and get some of those. Actually, we could probably have another one working on that. Smelter is working, so we probably want to throw in storage for metal beams. And I think the next thing we want to think about is the food factory. It's only 10 metal beams, so let's get that unlocked. Actually, we'll put that. Oh, pause. None of you reminded me, did you? 9-day bad tide. We've got a little bit of time anyway, so. So I am pondering, I did ponder before I started actually, removing the ladders mod and installing simple triggers. I mean, now we've got access to metal, we could also swap these out for sluices. So that is entirely an option for us. pausing those. We've got plenty of water to last 9 days. Might as well go back to triple speed. Let's go on double speed. Give ourselves time to think. Yeah. So the food factory, I think we'll put over here. We'll rotate. And then for now, we'll just run a straight power connection into it. And then I think we probably, because everything that's down here uses wood, we want a log storage. We're very short of logs. That's nearly built. Power output's going up. I'm going to have those be not quite so high. Yeah. Scrap metal, we can probably now afford to pause one of those. We've got a decent amount of that stockpiled. Yep. We probably want to do that. You should have paused. I'm guessing you will momentarily. We've got our new rooftop terraces, and we could always increase that with some platforms quite easily as well, once we need to. And that just needs to be built. It just needs to be built. There is a lot of logs over there, so it might be worth us actually putting in a permanent access over to this. Oh, seriously, dude? You finished at 97% and went home. Straighten the path out a little bit for you. Just so you don't get so tired. Yeah. We don't need to be maxing out the power output at the moment, but you know. So we've nearly used all of the metal blocks. So it would be really nice if they started putting, or nearly maxed out our limited metal block storage. So it would be really nice if they started putting the metal blocks into there. So they can now build the last of those, which is awesome, but we just can't get to that one. That's a bit of a pain. There we go. So we now have a reasonable amount of control over how much power we can generate. Because in theory we can reduce the amount of water that comes through this and increase the amount that goes through this side. And yeah, as long as we don't have any accidents, suddenly we have a lot more power output. But we don't need that at the moment, so I'm going to open it back up. It would probably be sensible at this point. Do we need the plank production running? Probably not. I was just thinking we should move the fermenter down here as well. Let's throw a fermenter there as well. Autosave. Merci. Now we've got a decent amount of trees up. Did I mark those for cutting? I did. Now I think we'll get all 4 of our available lumberjacks there lumberjacking. And this guy will be able to replant some of these with oak trees, which is cool. I think we'll rip those out. And do we want to think about and I'm just stacking up so much building, but hey, we'll get to it eventually. We'll throw in some showers for some wet fur well-being. Right, so that's in. So we can then put in the last double water wheel. Awesome. That's in. So we want to set that to corn rations. That's set to fermented cassavas. So what we want to do is build a warehouse down here for the cassavas. We'll set that to be an obtain. That's going to be an obtain. Yep. We want to have some storage up here near the housing, so we'll put that there for corn rations. Set to obtain, and over here we'll have that be corn rations set to supply. Awesome. So once they've got all of that lot built, and we could do with, we don't really need more power output. Once they've got that lot built, we'll then look at putting in the flywheels. That's what I was looking for. And yeah, I really like these guys. They're 2.5k science though, so we are a bit light on science. Speaking of which, we probably want to think about a number cruncher at some point. Now what we could do is just downstream here somewhere throw in a couple of large flywheels and a number cruncher. So possibly if we thought about doing something like that, because that will free up then resource, because we won't need beavers to be doing science. But obviously science is really important, so I think that's worth thinking about. It's 1.5k, 100 gears. Yeah, I think that's worth thinking about. So we've got that now. We will suspend if not enough power. We will automate products, and then we'll pause both of those. Again, we will suspend. We will automate. Suspend, automate. Yep. No good selected. Those can be deleted now. We'll delete them one at a time, because is probably worth us recovering the 3 logs, to be honest. Do we need to pick berries? We might as well, while we're not overly short of beavers. 11 well-being. Is it worth us? 15, 12. It's probably worth us trying to bump that up just a little bit more. Probably do, yeah, some cheap well-being things like, is that hits that rooftop terrace and where they come up there. If we do that one as well, yeah. And then if we do the corner there and the corner there. Did we? Oh, we didn't. Gee. Because we were in a bad side. That's why we didn't unpause. So what I'm going to do is empty that guy. Yeah. Too many more planks. Our plank production is paused, so actually what we should do is get rid of that, and we should put a plank production down here. There we go. You should be set to obtain. You should be high priority. Maybe we'll regret deleting that, because during a drought we won't have the ability to produce planks until we get an engine built. But realistically, an engine is not a million miles away. So yeah, it's not beyond the realms of possible. I did at least pick a lumber mill this time. So that's good. There we go. Automate products again. Yeah, that's going. Yeah, let's pause because the food supply is looking really good actually. Yep. Oh, that's dried out, but that's okay because this one hasn't. It's actually keeping most of this hydrated, so that's really good. So we don't need to worry yet about any form of hydration. We do want to... I'm just going to pause you until they get that built. It's not an urgent project. Do need to think about getting towards tubeways and stuff eventually, but you know, it's going to be a little while. There we go, we're starting to see 12 well-being. And we probably didn't need... Oh, yeah, actually we did. I could have maybe moved that back one. But, anywho. But yeah, that little bit of extra speed will be useful. speed. Might be beneficial to build a gear workshop there as well at some point. We're okay for gears at the moment, so I won't bother. You just seem to be sat there doing nout. Which is kind of weird. Anyway, we have much food, which is good. So if I look now, we need to think about mangrove fruits, don't we? And coffee. We're getting a little bit of wet fur bonus. Scratches might not be a bad idea as well, except they need planks. Yeah. Planks are a bit of a limiting factor at the moment. So, I guess maybe we have a second lumber mill. We've got power for it, so yeah. Are they cutting down? No, they're starting to cut down these trees. I guess they're focused on the oak trees because they're closer. But yeah, second lumber mill. Craziness. Again, we will do similar. And I think our water supply is still going to last us 18 days as we come to the end of the drought. So I think it might also be worth considering other barracks and unpausing our, once it's built, unpausing our other breeding pod. So we need to connect the power in, but we have this thing which is causing us challenges. And not opportunities, just challenges. But once we need the power, we'll find a way of utilizing it. Yeah, this freaking blockage. I don't think if I mark it now, there's no way we can demolish it at the moment. So that's annoying. But yeah, next we need to look at generating bad tide over. Awesome. Bad tide survived. So let's unpause water pumps. Come up here. It's pretty clear. So let's open that up. Go. There we go. And well, let's carry on, shall we? So we could probably do with an extra lumberjack, I think, over here. So let's put them in. We now have a massive shortage of workers. But what we can do is pause one of you. We'll go down to... We have no builders at the moment. That's not good. Let's... Do you cover the whole area? You do. I'm going to pause that farmer. Just so I can understand the situation better, we're going to pause those. We're pretty good for scrap metal, so I'm going to pause that. Let's pause those. We are 2 beavers short, so let's pause you as well. That's not actually. Yeah, because that gives us 2 builders. That's fine. I am content with that, I think. Yeah, you can get all the way down there. We don't necessarily need to clear all of those out, but, you know, why not, eh? Why not? And then what we want to do is, similar vein, we want to get over here. And we don't have enough science to unlock it yet, but we will get there eventually. We need to put it there, I guess. So move that down 1 to there. There. And there. And there. And that will hopefully generate much horsepowers. And then when we have enough science, we will bolt an number cruncher to it. So let's hook up the path. Yeah, so they can reach that. We need to remove. Actually, no, they can reach that. So, yep, that's good. So now we've built that extra one, we will unpause that so we can expand our population. We want to storage. Let's make that a priority. Build some more water storage. Yeah. I think we need some log storage nearer by for these guys. Wonder if we built it there. Logs as a supply. Whether that would help. Because I think a lot of the reason that these aren't cutting is they have a long way to go to any log storage. Possibly. Yeah. Right, so water storage is now up to 1600. So that's pretty good. We don't seem to be suffering too much from the fact that we have this annoying guy here. It's just going to get in the way of us building the things that I want to build. So, such is life. Such is life. We want to eventually be able to make use of science again. So, yep. And the idea of just having this separately is it'll generate power, it'll just churn away, generating research on its own out of the way, and we don't have to worry about it or think about it. Let's get that built, shall we? Yeah, we could do with expanding the population a little bit. They don't quite benefit from that. That's annoying. Very close to benefiting from it, but I'm just thinking if we have added 300 water, that's 15 beaver days worth of, is that right? No, 150 beaver days worth of water, 2 per day. But we could pump out this. This lasted really well, so. And there is nothing to say that we can't look at expanding this in the near future. Got more metal over here. I think once we've got the number cruncher in, which I think is going to be quite important for us, we need to think about tubeways so that it's possible to get around the map a little bit more easily. Because we are going to need to start exploring. Oh, there's another water source there. That's cool. We're going to need to get to some of these further metal deposits and eventually a mine. So yeah, something that we need to think about. And they're fun. So, you know. And having fun is part of it. We want to start thinking about explosives soon as well. So yeah, but we need more beaverage, and it's coming. It's coming. So they're getting that built. Got a reasonable stockpile of most of the resources we need. Water supply is almost full again. Really quite quickly, so I think maybe we can get away with 3 water pumps actually. And maybe we think about another large or medium water tank. That's going to take us up to nearly 2,000 water storage, which, I mean, if we end up with, say, 40 beavers, so 2,000 divided by 40 times 2. It's actually 2.2, I think. That's like 22 days worth of water storage, which is pretty good with where we are. Kind of tempted to go with another one. We've got the space for it at the moment. And probably get that extra, because I don't want to get overly cocky and then get hit by a really long drought and get screwed. Let's give that medium-ish priority as well. Yeah, hopefully our population will kick in soon. Processing all of the food fast enough. We can probably pause this guy. Yeah, harvesting all the food quick enough because the kohlrabi stocks are very full. To be honest, we could probably reduce the number of kohlrabis. Again. But I think we'll wait and see. But yeah, we've now got 2,300 nearly. Pretty comfortable with that as a water supply for cycle 6. So now we'll let them finish building that. Yep. Trees are getting cleared. Logs are going up. They're actually regrowing some little trees down here, but we don't really want them doing that. We want them regrowing trees. Because that will be much more efficient. At some point we will want to plant some pine trees, obviously, but not yet. Not yet, dear game. I'm wondering... $400 science. We might wait and see if we get a drought. I might throw an engine in here. So we can keep things moving. Yeah. But what we need now is science. I think I'm just going to speed the game up a bit more. Probably going to make things very unhappy. Yeah, let's not do that. Not sure why, but it doesn't seem to be performing brilliantly. Just because it's a big map and there's a lot of stuff. But anyway, I don't really want to use up more science at this point because we kind of need to stockpile science. We could keep building water storage, but that feels like a bit of a waste at the moment. We're just not gaining science at the moment because we don't have enough beavers. So I wonder if we're going to get another 3 once they mature. But we are getting injuries now. So I wonder if there would be benefit in throwing in another breeding pod. So that we can get a dropped mouse and a little bit of a... Yeah, so we do have a drought approaching. So I think we want to look at unlocking, putting in an engine. Because otherwise it's going to be a long long time without. So we'll go up to the point where we see how long the drought is, and then I think we will call it day there. We actually have some spare beavers now, so let's get these unpaused so we can soak up that spare beaver power. And we're going to end up pausing these, so hopefully during the drought we will get enough science to look at building the number cruncher. And maybe we can get it built during the drought. At least it won't run because we won't have any water flow, but you know. I'm going to prioritize this by haulers. Obviously we don't have very many haulers at the moment. Here we go up to 3 haulers. That needs to be prioritized by haulers as well. At the moment it won't run because it doesn't need to. But as the drought kicks in, it will begin to operate. And obviously this wheel is doing nothing at the moment, but we don't need it, so. Now we need to recover even more science. But we are going to need gear workshop. So let's build one of those. Because we're not going to be able to make gears during the drought, and we need gears for the number cruncher. So I'm going to pause it for now. And we can. There we go. So it's got all the automation settings, but I'm just going to pause it for now. Got logs down here now, which is good. Population should start to increase. And let's pause those. Those will auto pause. So we are looking at a 13-day drought. That's easy money. But we should now see as these stop, the engine kicks in. And has plenty of capacity, so we will run both of those. And we're making science, so that's good. And that's going to be it for today, folks. So hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, I've recorded this one before episode 2 came out, so won't have seen your comments on that one, but welcome your comments on this one as well. And I will see you all next time.